Ryan, I'm glad you're here today because today we are celebrating. Bryce Harper got paid.
Ooh.
13 years, $330 million deal to play baseball for the Phillies. What's interesting is his agent, Scott Boras, famous agent, he said that he had average annual salary values of upwards of $45 million, but decided to take the longest contract possible, a 13-year deal. This is the richest deal in the major sports in America. Here's what else Scott Boras had to say.
What else did he have to say? It
gets interesting. He said, quote, "The goal was to get the longest contract possible. Bryce wanted one city for the rest of his career. That is what I was instructed to do. It is very difficult in this time to get a length of contract that takes a player to the age 37, 38, 39. So Ryan, his agent is indicating that he could have made more annual money, but instead he wanted the longest deal possible. There's a part of me that says, why take $26, $28 million a year when you can get a shorter deal that pays you about $45 million a year?
Jacoby, my brother, you got to understand, once again, these are rich people problems.
Yes, they are.
But I love that Bryce Harper didn't get greedy. Bryce Harper also realizes if at age 38, 39, or 40, if it goes that long, if he wants to get fat and happy, a little lazy, the percentages fall, he's going to be all right.
Take me behind the curtain. I am not a professional athlete. No one ever paid me to play sports, okay? If you just signed a 13-year deal, do you still try as hard as you did previously?
He has to find incentive. He has to push himself. I don't know if it's a game of tic-tac-toe with the opponents. I don't know if it's trash talk. I don't know what his motivation will be. But I tell you one thing, it's going to have to be different. Bryce Harper will have to find something that day in and day out pushes him, some type of challenge for him to want to still be the best because he's guaranteed. He's set for life.
So here's the thing. They've dedicated $330 million to this man. 13 years. They're tied up money in Bryce Harper. But let's give you some stats real quick. Last April, he hit 241. In May of last year, 221. He hit 188 with 2 home runs in June. He had a few months where he was just a replacement player. Do you think the Philly will regret this long-term deal worth so much money?
Well, at some point, of course, yeah. Because you're going to look at this guy over 13 years and you're not going to see excellence every single day, every single ending.
But these are months. In the month of June, he hit 188 with 2 home runs. And then let's look at the last 3 seasons. Like at the last 3 seasons, he's been pretty consistent, but consistently like all right. The hitting like under 250 is not $330 million worth. And this is 3 years. This is a large sample size.
So Jacoby, like we talked about earlier, this is why you take the bag and you take the long-term bag.
So
because you're good at this.
Yeah. You're seeing it as the athlete. Yeah, but like, I'm looking at it like, look, Bryce Harper is an excellent baseball player. I'm not saying he's not. But someone who hits 250, do you really want to give them 13 years worth of salary?
Well, maybe not a smart move by the Phillies, but a great move from Bryce Harper.
The Harper family? Sure, the Harper family's winning.
Listen,
the Harper family is
here's
winning.
the expectations.
All right, very quick. If you just signed a $330 million deal, what's the first thing you do?
Oh, wow.
What's the first thing you do?
Wow. I think, I'm a simple guy.
Okay.
When I signed my first NBA contract, I did the same things I did in college. I played video.
It wasn't worth $330 million.
No, it wasn't. But I tell you, I played video games and I ate fast food. Nothing changed. Nothing changed.
Well, someone else who just got a new deal.
Oh.
Our former colleague, Jason Witten. Jason Witten left the Monday Night Football booth, going back to play tight end for the Dallas Cowboys. The deal he signed is worth $3.5 million with incentives up to $5 million. Why do you think he's going back to the field?
He didn't get out of his system. And for me, when I left the NBA, I didn't play. I got to the point where it wasn't overseas, wasn't NBA. I will be sitting across from my man, Jacoby. I'm going to be permanently on the other side. Basketball is out my system. I don't have to compete. I don't need it. I don't watch games and go, that needs to be me out there. And there's something.
Hit the brakes. Hit the brakes.
What?
You know you're playing in the big three. You know you're still a professional athlete, right? They pay you to do that. You're like, I'm going to permanently be on the other side. I'm going to the media. But you don't have it out of your system yet. You are playing competitive professional basketball right now. And you're talking about how it's out of your system.
It's not the same, though. It's not the same.
What do you mean?
I don't have to practice
that.
I don't have to practice the same. I don't regiment the same. I just had a grilled cheese sandwich. Okay? With extra cheese.
Wait a second. Are you trying to tell me that big three athletes don't train like NBA athletes?
I train just different. Life is different.
Just different?
It's different now.
Different?
Yeah, it's different. It changed.
Tell me how big three is different than the NBA.
Well, I have one game a week to prepare for.
Okay.
And instead of 82 games in a regular season, you know, I get to the gym when I want to. There's no scouting reports.
No, do you have a coach?
You know, sometimes no practice, sometimes no coach.
Are there drug tests?
Drug tests? No, I don't believe.
Okay.
Neither here nor there. But I don't believe.
That's fair. Well, a legend, Charles Barkley, has been forced to go to court today and testify.
Oh.
He is testifying against a father and son, friends of his, close friends of his, that have allegedly taken over $6 million of Charles Barkley's money that he was supposed to be investing into a company, and you'll never believe this, but they used some of that $6 million for personal expenses. Essentially, he has been frauded and swindled. So it seems like you hear this a lot with ex-athletes. Like, this is not unique to Charles Barkley. This happens over and over. Financial advisors taking millions of dollars from athletes, investment schemes, frauds. What is one of the shadiest investments that someone has tried to propose to you?
Oh, wow. Okay, I got one. So I had a good friend of mine that, well, I don't want to say a good friend, but a friend, an associate.
Yeah.
That proposed, well, handed me a mixtape.
Oh, okay.
And
mixtape.
You know, they had an artist. And within their artist, they're telling me about how great the artist was and how they could sing, they could rap, they could do everything, everything, right? All the intangibles. And as I hear more and more, somehow I'm thrown into the equation as it goes on. It says, man, you know, when you put your money up and we invest here and then, you know, you get your contacts and your resources, we're going to be really big.
This artist needs Ryan Hollins. That's what this artist needs. This artist is Ryan Hollins away from being the next Drake.
Ryan Hollins away. And I start to realize as we talked more and more and the discussions got more in depth, that was more about me putting my money forth to the artist.
Yes.
And there's no money in the artist already. So I started to slowly creep away.
Just stop answering texts.
Yeah, it doesn't start like that.
Did you ever listen to the music?
It was okay. It was okay.
It was trash.
The potential.
It was trash. Ryan, there's a school in New Jersey that did something so unthinkable you will not believe it. I'll tell you exactly what that is after this.